From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, January 8th, 2016. Silver is trading at $14.22 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,103 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $457. Antiwar.com reports every time the Kurdish YPG makes gains in northern Syria, usually at the expense of the Islamic State, the U.S. ends up in an awkward position, cheering an ally for gains against the Islamic State, but also facing a backlash from neighboring Turkey, who objects to the Kurdish growth. This is continuing again this week, with Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Joseph Dunford being warned that Turkey believes the Kurds are creating a corridor in Aleppo province from the Islamic State-held Jarablus to Al-Qaeda-held Azaz, and that Turkey won't tolerate it. Turkey has long declared the Euphrates River a red line and warned the Kurds must never cross it. But with both the United States and Russia backing YPG advances against the Islamic State, they eventually did. Turkish officials are inconsolable about it. Turkish officials say their concern is for Syrian territorial integrity, but as they've openly backed rebels for years, that seems unlikely, and rather the primary concern is that age-old Turkish problem, Kurdish secessionist ambitions across the region, including in Turkey.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports dozens of colleges and universities have been added to the growing list of institutions subject to increased financial oversight by the federal government, putting a damper on the school's ability to dole out federal aid. Records from the U.S. Department of Education show 540 colleges and universities are under heightened cash monitoring by the Federal Student Aid Office as of December 1st, up from 499 in September. Of the 540 institutions, 86 are operating under the highest form of scrutiny. Collectively, the institutions on the monitoring list received nearly $8 billion in student loans and grants from the federal government last year alone, according to an Inside Higher Ed analysis of federal records. Heightened monitoring can result from minor infractions such as missing paperwork and computer issues to more serious ones such as concerns about the school's administrative capabilities and financial responsibility. Undersecretary of Education Ted Mitchell said in April, after the first list of monitored schools was released, heightened cash monitoring is not necessarily a red flag to students and taxpayers, but it can serve as a caution light. It means we are watching these institutions more closely to ensure that institutions are using federal student aid in a way that is accountable to both students and taxpayers. The Education Department began releasing information about heightened financial oversight in April after months of refusals, citing competitive injury and several requests from Inside Higher Education.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports federal prosecutors in Alabama said probate judges should issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, despite being told otherwise by the state's chief justice, but at least 2 counties on Thursday stopped giving out licenses altogether. U.S. Attorneys Joyce White Vance and Kenyon Brown said they had grave concerns about Alabama Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore's order because it advised the state's probate judges to disobey a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide last year. Judge Moore on Wednesday said that Alabama judges are bound by the state Supreme Court ruling last March that halted same-sex marriage until that court determines the effect of the national ruling on the state. Marriage licenses were halted for all couples, same-sex and opposite sex in Mobile County, according to that office's website. A staff member in Elmore County said they took the same step. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.